Welcome to Casual Babble.
Hey, it's your boy, BC Babble.
This conversation could get a little
Now,
weird.
I'm not trying to say that I'm a nerd, but we are definitely about to get our nerd on, so...
This is Casual Babble.
Hello, you beautiful individual. Welcome back to the Casual Babble podcast. It's BC Babbles, and today in the studio with me, I'm joined by the illustrious and very overdressed, well, making me feel underdressed, Miss Tracey Massey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, VC. Thank you for having me. Hello, fam.
Hello. We are coming at you in person from the Hugo Co-working Studios in the Queen City of Charlotte, and we're going to have some fun today.
Yes.
At least that's the goal. Now, I made the mistake of asking you important questions to which you already started providing amazing advice without recording any of it. So I feel we must backtrack a little bit. So if you don't know Miss Tracey Massey, she is very, and to me, very accomplished for a young host, producer, podcast ma'am, because you have connections, you've figured out networking, you got sponsorships, you've attained a level that I'm still dreaming about, and I keep watching The Secret to manifest it. It's taking its time for me. But for Miss Massey, she's found a trick or two. So we were talking about, and you mentioned this when we first met, which was it over a month now?
Yeah, it's been about a month. Yeah.
Since our podcasting network session with the amazing Ohavia Phillips.
Yes.
She was on, and girl,
Yes.
if you ever put Tracey Massey in the same room with Ohavia Phillips, she will tell you beforehand that the second Miss Phillips enters the space that
Yes. Bright light.
I made
Bright
the mistake of looking away for 2 seconds.
See, you missed it.
Because she came in like a bright orange
Yes.
work suit, and I was like, oh, that must be her. Because Tracey was saying she's big and bright, she's lovely, she's got this great aura. I look back at where Tracey was, and I think the air was still trying to concave and retake that space. Because you moved so quickly
Yes, I did.
to get over to, you took the chair.
I did.
The chair. If you're ever in Hugo, there's a nice, huge co-working space in the back where there's a sofa and like an illustrious like leather chair right next to it. Tracey found her way there very, very quickly.
Very fast.
And she enjoyed that spot for the rest of the networking event for that night, which was great. I was laughing so hard because I was talking to the other people that we had begun talking to prior to Ohavia's arrival, and I was just like, where'd my first friend go?
Gone.
Gone.
She's out.
She's moved on. She's not coming back.
Look, you have to jump at opportunities.
You do.
And you knew that we had shared before Ohavia got there that I was having such a fangirl moment. And it's very rare that I fangirl over certain people.
Yeah.
But I knew that when she came in, I was like, oh yeah, it's on.
This is-
Like I am sitting in that chair and I will fight somebody if I have to.
I don't
tonight.
think your feet touched the ground.
No, I floated. I
You
definitely-
floated. You levitated.
Definitely.
You damn near teleported because you were so fast. And I thought it was so funny. I was like, oh, I'm so happy I met this girl. She's going to be so fun in the future. I got to have her on the show. And that's why you're here today, because you had to be on the show. This is the perfect medium for thee. Aside from your own amazing podcast, talk about it a little bit, please.
So my podcast is called the Charging Station Podcast, and we talk about all things faith, family, friends, and fun. The concept is it's like girlfriends coming together on a night, girls' night, sitting on the couch, drinking our favorite beverage, whatever that may be. And you get all of my life shenanigans, and sometimes I bring on friends, and we talk about shenanigans there, and just give tips and tools on how to navigate this thing called life. And so my whole thing is to make sure that people come and listen, and they're motivated, inspired, their hearts are lifted, their spirits are rejuvenated.
Yes.
So when you listen to an episode, I really want you to feel like, hey, we're sitting here on this couch, and she just made me feel a whole lot better, because that's how it is when you're with your friends.
Right.
You know, your friends recharge you. And so I love this platform. It is a great way for me to show people another side of me. And it's just been fun. It's been an adventure so far.
And when was your inception of the show, and what gave you that spark of inspiration to make it a thing, to bring it into reality?
Okay, so I actually started podcasting in 2017, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Talk about it. Yep.
No idea what I was doing. If you listen to the first few episodes, which are still out there, they are so bad.
Oh.
They are
Was
so
it the
bad.
same name, same vibe, essentially?
It was the same name. So the vibe kind of grew into what it is, because I just kept going. And that was the thing. when you keep going, it forms into what it's supposed to be. And so I was still speaking and just saying, showing people a different side of me, but I had no idea what I was doing. Like the old episodes, it's just me talking. They were like 15, 20 minutes, which my episodes are still short. But I had music playing the entire time in the background. The volume was horrible, but people still listened.
Yeah.
And I realized after taking a break from it, because, life, this is my thing, life be lifing.
Right.
And I took a break from it, and I realized how much I still loved it. And as soon as I put a new episode out, the people came back. And I said, okay, well,
nice.
wait a minute. We're on to something.
Yeah.
And it just continued to grow. And 2020 was when I really became consistent with it.
Yeah.
So episodes come out every week. And that makes me sit down and say, okay, I got to get an episode out. I actually have people who show up in my DMs who are ticked off when there's no new episode.
Oh, no.
They're nice about it because, God is still working on me. I will clap back sometimes.
Right.
Lord. But they're nice about it. But they're like, look, I need my charge. I need my charge.
Yeah.
So, okay. This is great. So it's just it's amazing to watch it evolve into what it is now, and I'm excited to see what it's going to grow into. Because of course, as you continue to work on something, you have bigger vision for it.
Yeah.
And so I see so many areas that I can go into, and I'm just excited. Like we're just branching out a little bit more, and it's scary, but it's fun.
And is that topic-wise or like platform-wise?
Platform and topic.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Do you have even a vague idea of like where you would like to be able to take your messages and your platform and your storytelling?
Absolutely.
What are you thinking?
Absolutely.
If you're willing to divulge.
Absolutely. Well, I want to do a live podcast one day.
Oh. Are we talking like morning show or like evening show? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking evening show.
Okay, yes.
So doing an evening show, and because what I would love to see, now look, people, don't take my idea. I'm looking in the camera. We on camera?
We're both on camera.
Okay.
I'll like sync our eye glares.
We're here? Okay. So I would love to have a couch, because my premise is, come on, have a seat on the couch and let's drink coffee, tea, wine, water, whatever. I would love to have a setup like a living room. At the live. And we're sitting on this big plush couch, maybe in our PJs or something, and sipping on coffee or tea or wine or whatever. I'll probably have wine. Don't judge me, judge your mama. And
it's an evening podcast. It's been 5 o'clock.
Right. So we need to relax a little bit.
Right.
And just have some amazing guests sit there and just chit chat. And I can just imagine having an audience. Like I would even love to have the instead of having regular seats, have love seats or couches or something in the audience, and just make it a real vibe.
Yeah.
So that is,
and really pitch the PJ part of that, because I feel like tell people don't wear no belts, no heels,
no, we're coming
no
comfy.
Business suits.
Yes, we're coming comfortable.
Like bring whatever outfit where everything's moving freely.
Yes, like even don't have it too jiggly because we'll be on camera.
Yeah.
But I even see different areas where I can take that. So I just had an idea that. Yeah, I just saw.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
Like,
I'm ready for it. And you and I have been talking about you moving from strictly currently audio podcast and moving into the video sphere, which is currently what I do with my show. And so I told you before, let me know when you want to just meet up here. And I've showed you a little bit of what I do.
Yes.
And she thinks it's a lot. But when it's produced afterwards and it's out there, it's like, oh, I'm like... not a movie maker, but it's like, oh, I did that. It's such a fun process. And with that, I will say, I hear that there are some people that are still coming in here and thinking that a podcast is just record.
Oh, God, no.
And that's it. It's like, well, do you think after you click unrecord, it just uploads to Spotify? No.
Listen.
It's podcasts, even if you're solo audio or if you are audio and video, it is a process. It's a whole
so much of a process.
Bang.
Yes, it is so much work, and I don't think people realize that.
Right.
People think, like you said, you just come in, hit record, and that's it. No, there's pre-production.
Yes.
There's post-production. There's putting the podcast out there. There's promotion. There's pitching. There's interview guests. Like there's coordinating schedules. It's work.
Yes. Like yesterday's coordinating our schedules was a whole thing, because I was looking at the wrong weekend. I'm like, so the studio's available until 11 o'clock in the morning. And then we had, after like 10 more messages, had locked that in. And I was like, I need to apologize. I was looking at 2 Saturdays from now. Tomorrow is a bit different. We have like an hour and a half more time. So when would you like to meet? And we had to redo it again. So, but yeah, I mean, like, I don't even know how much time, and you could probably say to this too, how much time you spent on designing the imaging of your show. Like what's your palette, what's your style, what font for the title of your show.
Oh my God.
You know, I don't know if you use Canva. I'm a huge Canva person.
Canva
Is beautiful.
Yes.
Especially if you're willing to put a little bit in for like Camera Pro and you get like so many more graphics, but it's so nice. But like how much time I spent with trying to figure out, this is my second podcast. So I too, like you, started podcasting back actually in 19, and the podcast then only lasted like 6 episodes. And then I left my job that I was making use of their studios at the time. So I kind of had to stop because I didn't have that stuff anymore. And just to make that image, which was, I thought was a fun image, but it just didn't kind of grow with what the show was going to become, was a lot. And then it's figuring out, okay, what platforms will I use to promote the show? Am I going to put a schedule together? Like, and again, is it going to be interview based? Yeah. Like ours can sometimes be, and can I coordinate the other person to make sure that they're here on time? And I love you because you are very on time. I've had a couple of people recently, and I'm not going to name names, and if they hear this, they're going to know who they are. But there was one time where we had settled on a time frame, and it wasn't until the beginning of the time frame where they were getting ready at home and then coming in. And then recently again, somebody else waited until like 2 minutes before to be like, hey, can we shoot for like a shift of an hour and make it later? And I was like, no.
Studio is booked.
And I TikToked about it too. It's like, here's the thing. If you're not going to someone's house, they probably don't own the space you're going to be at.
Yes.
And you can easily deduce this fact if you're going to a business.
Yeah.
They don't own the space.
Right.
Whatever time frame y'all agreed on 2 days ago,
that's it.
Is the time frame they put their money down for.
Yes.
So no changing the time frame, coming in later, or this and that's just not feasible. Things have been set in motion, and they're gonna roll without you. And so on that day, I just ended up being me, just me. But it was still fun. But yeah, you gotta stick to it, guys.
Please stick to it.
Please stick to it.
It's already stressful enough.
It really is.
Please show up on time and the designated time that you are assigned.
And if you haven't elevated to the point like Miss Tracey here, where you can designate that post-production work to somebody else, and you're still doing all the work, don't make it harder on me. Please don't make it harder on me. I want to like you. I really do. But I mean,
we want to remain friends.
But that is conditional.
Yeah.
That is very conditional. It just may not be feasible for the future. I'm sorry, but it's whatever. So I would love to jump into some like business news, and this is going to be via the Morning Brew morning newsletter. Not sponsored, but Morning Brew. Hey, let's talk. You know, I'm ready for it.
Come on, Morning Brew.
So this random article that's caught my eye real quick is called "Make Your Feet Famous."
What?
I don't know what kink we're about to jump into here, but let's find out.
I'm nervous. Wait a minute.
The celeb fave OCA low and canvas. Is that a kind of shoe? Do they mean Converse? Anyway, Canvas by Kariyuma is finally back in stock. I'm not even sure what it is. Should it be back at all? These kicks are coming off around the block 34,000 waiting list, and while we can't promise you'll have the paparazzi flashing cameras in your face, your feet might just make the front page.
Well, okay.
I mean, if you're down for just getting your name out there, I guess you can do it with your feet.
How much are the shoes?
Right. That doesn't. With OCA Low and Canvas, A-list season is year-round. They're the perfect stylish sneaks that will always keep you comfortable, but it does not say how much they are. I am nervous to find out how much they are, because it's like, will I be concerned?
I think
will I be concerned?
With that. I think. Oh, these are the shoes?
These are the shoes.
Oh, they're kind of cute.
They do look nice. So one pair of these shoes is going to be, if my computer decides to load at some point, $79. That's not horrible.
not bad.
That's like your typical rack room shoes
Yeah.
price. Okay.
It's not bad.
And I guess if they make you famous,
I would wear these.
that's a decent ROI, to be
Yeah.
honest. You know, we're looking for a good like 200% ROI. So if I like invest $79 into the shoes, get a sponsorship, and I'm making like $3,000 a month off the shoes alone, that's a pretty good return on investment.
I would wear these.
These are good. I'm gonna have to like.
And I would love to have them be a sponsor.
Yes.
So if you're watching
So,
or listening.
Karayuma, if I am pronouncing that
Look,
correctly.
I would wear these with this outfit right now.
Oh yeah, you would.
I would.
Or these, because you got like some nice reds too.
Yeah. I like these. And see, I'm the type of person, if I find something that I really, really like, and all of these colors, I will order them in every single color.
In every single. Now they do support shoe sizes from 5 up to 13. So my brother with like monster size swimming feet will definitely be able to get himself a pair.
Not swimming feet.
Oh, that's from. Hold on, that's just for men. I didn't check women. Dang it, Brandon. Come on. Or BC. You're not supposed to know my real name. So from 5 to 13 still. So women.
Yeah.
I think back to, did you watch Proud Family as a kid?
No. I feel like I'm missing out now.
Well, Disney Plus. Go for it.
Okay.
I was gonna say there's an episode from the Proud Family with one of the characters who she reveals that she's got these like monster.
Oh,
feet.
wait. Yes, I have. I saw that episode.
With
Penny
what-
Proud with her swimming feet.
Not Penny, but La
Penny?
Cienega.
La Cienega.
And she had like the 3-foot long foot.
Yes.
And people were like, how is she swimming so fast?
That was how.
Oh my God, that was sound. I was like, okay, size 13 feet, La Cienega Boulevard is. You can get your shoes. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, I love those shoes.
So if you want to get your feet famous, Karayuma's Canvas, OCA Low and Canva is the way to go. Get your feet famous. That's going to be odd. I really think so. Scrolling through. Let me know if something catches your eye. Saturday's sketch.
Oh, so the
What is that?
Oscars are happening soon?
Oh, no.
I'm so out of touch.
So what else is brewing? Senator Joe Manchin, I'm going to pronounce that wrong. Manchin said he would support the nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson. Ketanji Brown Jackson. I'm going to make sure I say that right because I know a lot of people on the other side would say that wrong on purpose.
Please do. Because if you can say Schwarzenegger correctly, you can say Ketanji. Come on.
Ketanji. And I'm just... Don't get me started on that. Rep. Jeff Fortenberry.
Well, can we go back to Ketanji?
Yes, let's go back to Ketanji.
Listen, I am excited
Yes.
about this.
I mean, there is no reason to not want to see her on the bench.
None whatsoever. And if you
she's
have
been
a
on the
reason,
bench.
if you have a reason to not want to see her on the Supreme Court, I'm wondering what that reason would be.
Yeah, because it better be like education research based.
It
like
better be because she is overqualified.
Yeah, and not because she doesn't want to define women. And the lady who asked her that question couldn't do it herself because what she say in a post hearing interview, she said, "A woman is girl, a girl is woman." It's like,
do you know
how
how crazy this entire process has looked?
It's a fiasco.
And I'm wondering what I was literally sitting and watching and thinking, what is this? Is this really happening right now? So you could not come at the honorable judge about her career, about her credentials. You had to come at her about what defines a woman.
Or supporting anti-racist children's books.
Right.
Or
it was just she or even coming at her about her religion and bias, and being a judge, you would hope that a judge is able to sit on the bench and rule according to the law.
The law.
And granted, sometimes the law is completely messed up.
It's old.
It is old and antiquated.
Uh-huh.
However, if you have someone who is able to judge according to the law, how can you not approve this person?
Right.
And I'm just sitting here thinking she could run circles around the Congress and the senators.
Everybody.
Who were interviewing her. And the fact that ma'am kept her entire
She was so composed.
cool.
More credit to her. I would have lost it two questions
My
in.
facial expressions alone would have been
I would have been in so much trouble.
plastered all over the internet, all over Al Gore's internet. I would have been a meme. I would have been a meme. But the fact that she kept her entire composure, it brought me joy, but it also saddened me at the same time.
Because black women can't lash out.
We can't have emotion.
You can't.
We can't have emotion. We can't be passionate about anything.
And something else other people have been saying too is that she has to be overtly qualified to just be there. Because if we did it the way that it should be done, where like you meet certain standards, she would still get in because she's still put in the work and the time. She would
be in before all of the other ones that are sitting on there.
But none of them else would have gotten in.
Because that last one that was in there, ma'am, sir, hello.
I have spent the last couple of nights wondering, like, either they're so confident that they can not hide it at this point, or they're just so upfront about it, or should I be more worried that they've convinced themselves that these questions are properly in line with protocol? Like, do you really truly think that's the kind of question that should go into over a hearing for the next Supreme Court justice? It's just like you're supposed to be more mature than that.
You're supposed to be.
You're supposed to be.
Like, I'm like, where is HR?
Where is it? First of all, does the Supreme Court have an HR?
No, we need an HR for the Senate and the House of Representatives. But you know what? I kind of feel like the American people are the HR.
Yeah.
But we're not doing justice to our system. So it's just, I feel like our whole system needs to be revamped. And it's just heartbreaking to see the blatant.
Is there a word that's bigger than blatant? I feel like we need a bigger word.
I want to cuss.
Up front, like on the facade.
I really want to curse, but we're not going to do that on this here podcast. I'm going to be friendly. But I just wish
you don't have to be friendly.
I just wish that we could come to a common place of where we say, this is wrong.
Yeah.
And we're going to change it and actually change it. Because it's ridiculous.
And I'm going to say, and I hope it comes to fruition, I really do, the fact that it's all these really old white people who don't have as much time on this earth left anyway.
Oh, Lord.
We just need like one good, like maybe like 7-point earthquake somewhere, take most of them out. And then I feel like I know a lot of kids, even in our generation, have been fooled as well by those same values. And I've been seeing the word of values a lot lately in other conversations that I've been combating people with. But it's like, as a whole, though, us kids and younger than us are a bit more open and a bit more level-headed. So once we get, I'm hoping so hard and praying that once we get in, the bullshit stops.
I hope and I pray that as well.
We're going to fight on some things, but let's fight on how do we help the poor? How do we get them housing? How do we upgrade our education system? How do we, I don't know, global warming or whatever the world affecting or whole country affecting issues are.
Yes.
Let's not waste time on the bullshit anymore.
And that's exactly what we've been doing.
Exactly.
For far too long. And I wish that it would just stop.
Right.
I just wish it would stop.
But here's the cycle of it all the time, though. Is like the one side will put the time into putting legislation into effect that affects marginalized people. But when the other side comes in, who's not about that, who's like, Constitution is for everybody, people, and they try to put some time into fixing that, then the first side's like, why are you wasting your time on stupid issues? Like, what?
Issues that affect the people that you are put in place to serve.
Right. If you don't want me to drive over this pothole, stop digging holes in the road.
Exactly.
Like,
you know what ticks me off most about having right wing and left wing? So you think about it like this. You have a bird.
Yeah.
And the bird has wings.
Yes.
You have a left wing and you have a right wing. If you're leaning more towards the right wing, that bird is going to fly cricket.
Going to tilt, yes.
We are flying cricket and nobody's trying to straighten up the bird.
And it's back and forth too. It's sometimes left, sometimes right. And I'm pretty sure the bird's kind of dizzy at this point.
The bird is completely dizzy.
Like it's experiencing vertigo.
Yeah.
And my mom has vertigo. I've seen that happen. And it's not a fun time.
It's not. And it's sad when you see all of these issues going on. Like I hate what's happening in Ukraine and with Russia.
Yeah.
But when you tell me you have billions of dollars to pump into war, but you have people over here who still sleep on the street.
Yeah.
I find something wrong with that.
Yeah. It means you could have taken care of that a while ago, because Ukraine and Russia, while it's been building, it's only been happening for the past couple of weeks.
But we've had homeless, like look at what the pandemic,
Right.
Just here in our own city, you had an entire tent city that popped up, and that should never have happened.
Right.
We should never have places where people don't have a place to call home safely.
Right.
Even now, we were just talking about the rent increasing, and you tell people to get out here and work. Well, it's kind of hard when you have your rent increases 20%, but your salary increases 1%.
Right.
Then you got to go out here and work 3 and 4 jobs. You know, the
Right.
math ain't mathing. How is this? How are you supposed to get ahead when the system is in place to keep you from moving forward?
Right.
And that's what saddens me.
Right. And the workforce, workforce. And I think a lot of what also popped up last year with pandemic was the Karens came out, first of all,
Very
in
much
full
so.
stride, and people are leaving fast food service jobs left and right.
Absolutely.
And they have the gall to be like, why aren't you working? Or like, there's no one here to work this McDonald's?
Because we don't want to be treated like crap.
Exactly.
That's why.
It's not the pay's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it at all. And even this, and I'll even mention this too, is like a lot of people jump to particular platforms to make money too, like OnlyFans and whatnot. And here's the thing, and like, why not? I've seen people make $60K in a month
just by showing their feet. Hey, we go back to these shoes.
Right. And I mean, these shoes may not be $60K in a month shoes, but I'll take $3K
There is
in a month
a
shoes.
market out there for it. Trust
feet.
and believe. And I think that's what a lot of people found. Like even for me,
Right.
in 2020 when we had to stop
Uh-huh.
and slow down. One thing that I learned was there were a lot of things that I was doing that was not conducive to where I was trying to go.
Right.
And so I cut all of that stuff out. I'm like, okay, this is better. Like the
Yeah.
weight lifted.
Yeah.
The quality of life is different.
Right.
I'm not taking this. I'm not doing that. We're going to do this. And if this isn't adding up to where I'm trying to go, then you got to be subtracted. You have to be
Right.
deducted. And I think a lot of people saw that. And I know for a fact, just in my circle, there's so many people that started their own businesses. They had the opportunity to work on their dream.
Yeah.
And now they're employing other people and paying them and treating them well.
Right.
So these corporate businesses need to get that. Like people are investments.
Yeah.
When you invest in your people, they're going to invest in your dream, in your vision. You treat people kindly and you pay them well. Like give them a way for them to be able to not only
Yes.
pay their rent, but
Yes.
not have to worry about how they're going to pay for food.
Right.
How they're going to do this, how they're going to get medicine. And it's just, you treat people as if they're people. Watch how people work for you.
Right. And wasn't there a documentary in the past year about a company that did that and invested heavily into their people? I don't know if I'm going to find it in 2 seconds, but people were like, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Your business is going to die, but they're thriving.
They're thriving because people bought into the vision. They bought into the vision and they bought into the fact that, okay, you actually care about it.
Right. And all the employees are making strong
Yes.
5-figure incomes.
Yeah.
They're able to comfortably take care of themselves, and they're just going to work. So, and that's a dream of mine, really. I don't know the steps to get there, and that's a big thing with me. I know what I want to do, just don't know the steps. Is if I can create a space similar to what Garrett's done here with Huga, if I can create a space where I know whatever the business is, we're going to have challenges because of the business nature.
Yeah.
But if I can see my employees and my employees, like their teams coming in every morning excited, even though they know today's going to be a challenge, but they know the work, they love the work, but they're happy to come in. That's the goal.
That is wonderful.
I want them to be like, because we all have periods in our lives where we're waking up and like, oh God, I gotta go to work. I haven't yet had a time where I've waken up to be like, oh my God, work time. It's 5:50 in the morning. Let's go to work.
Yeah.
Never had that moment.
Let's get this commute going.
Right. Like, oh God. Maybe when I was still in college and I was interviewing for a morning show and I was happy to be on a morning show, but that's like 7 years ago. So not in 7 years have I had that, oh my God, let's go to work, time to go to work thing. But if I can do that, that's the goal for me.
I want to create an environment where my employees are able to grow. Because my thing is, I don't want you stuck under me 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person where I see what's in you. I'm going to pull that thing out of you.
Yeah.
And if you tell me that you have a dream, okay, what are we doing to get there?
All right. Yeah.
I want to see you get there.
Right.
And then I want to grow other leaders because leaders grow leaders
Right.
and grow leaders. And I just want to create an environment where you know that you are in good soil and you can grow and you can manifest your dreams. You can do the work that you love, but you catch this vision and while you're here, you're going to make this thing work. And I honestly want to create an environment where it's a 4-day work week. And if you are in PTO, do not check your emails. You will be fired immediately. I want you to have that moment of just being a human being.
I need you to tell my mom that very thing. Like she's I mean, she's doing the damn thing. She really is. She's materials manager for an engineering company up in Mooresville where we live. And when she's on vacation, but she will not be on vacation. Like we were having a family vacation down at freaking Universal Studios. And she was still getting calls and answering the calls. I'm like, what are you doing? Would you go just hang out with Mickey Mouse, please? You are 90 miles away from work.
Right. What are you going to do?
And granted, her, and I'm going to call it a problem with air quotes, but the problem was that, like you, she cares about her team that works under her. And at the time, the people who would be in charge when she's not there are shitty people. So she was having her under team call her. Like one person was on the verge of quitting because they were being like bullied and just harassed by these people that my mom did not like. And so very motherly, that's why she was answering the call, but it's like you're on vacation. I understand you love your people. I've met your team and I love them too, but you're on vacation.
At what cost to her?
Right.
You know, because we are no good to anybody when we don't take care of ourselves.
Exactly.
Because I bet you they go on vacation.
Right.
They're not going to do the same thing.
Right.
And sometimes we set up an expectation for people. And so now they're expecting us to do this or act a certain way. So when we change that up, they don't know what to do or they bat against that. So you have to set the expectation. I am on vacation. My phone is on Do Not Disturb.
Right.
Whatever is going to happen is going to happen whether I'm here or not. I'm going to leave and set you up for success. But while I'm gone, use the tools that I've given you to be successful.
And remember, when I get back and I'm back in work mode, if you've been screwing around the whole time.
Oh, it's on and popping.
It's on. That's what I wish my mom would have done. Like, hold off on it. Let these assholes be assholes. So that when you come in on Monday and you're tearing that ass up, it is completely legitimized.
Yes. 'Cause sometimes you got to show them.
You do. You do. Oh my goodness. And you bring out another point that I would like to add as well to the conversation, because you mentioned you want to make sure that your employees, your team is in good soil so they can grow. And that's something that I don't think enough bosses think about, because in my experience, I've been in an environment where I've had associates and coworkers that I know are so untapped. And what was hard about that in that situation was that not only are they untapped, but they get in trouble. I have one friend, and I mentioned this in my last episode. She was being asked to come in on her not work time because a client, and this is for iHeartMedia Charlotte, a client had heard her voice and requested her specifically to voice their promos. And so she was asked the first few times very nicely to come in and do a couple spots. And she enjoyed it because that's what she does. She's got that broadcasting background. But again, they were outside of her work hours. And so she inquired about compensation because, it's still gas. It's still, again, it's not my shift, but I'm here working essentially, compensation. She told me she got called into our boss's office and got railed for it. And I found out about this after the fact, so I wasn't able to tell her that's illegal.
Very much so.
Sue them.
Very.
Or tell the production team, you can't have my voice on shit because you can't prove I was compensated for it.
Exactly.
And so no wonder she left not long after that. But just like, first of all, compensation. Yeah, North Carolina is very strict about that compensation. So don't be pulling that shit.
Attorney General's office on the main line.
Oh, yes.
Tell them what you want.
Like,
Don't do that to people.
And like, I wish I could have like, or she would have thought to be like, they're asking for me specifically. They want my voice. I don't want your voice.
The rate just went up.
Yes.
Like they want me.
So let's discuss rates. And if girl over here want to act like that, like her boss act like that, then I guess her boss can explain to the client why I'm no longer available.
Right.
Like, sorry, but you're not going to get your dream voice for your promotions.
Oh,
Man.
she could have leveraged the hell.
I
out
wish
of
she
that.
would have like raised them. Oh my God. That pissed me off so bad when she told me about that. I'm like, how could they get away with that? Granted, they get away with some shit that I'm not a fan of either. Because again, they have groups of people who are so untapped, but and people who listen are going to get so irritated because I talk about this all the time. Whenever the opportunity comes up, non-competes.
Oh yeah.
So even as a part-time, you have to sign a 6-month non-compete. Part-time.
Part-time. Okay.
6-month non-compete. Which is weird because before I left, this guy named AJ who had become, at that time, he was finally like overseeing all programming, said that it's basic practice to have all part-times in that industry sign a non-compete. But I was part-time with Beasley Media since June of this past year. And I only recently left because I got a full-time job. And they never had me sign one.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
And
I'm not even in radio, but I have friends in the industry. I've never heard that before.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why iHeartMedia Charlotte does that. And what also had me irritated with iHeartMedia non-compete is that it specifically words what you can't do, which a non-compete does, like what you can't do for that period of time. And so I was in traffic. I was talking about roadway conditions. That was my job by the time I was full-time and I left. It says you can't do the same or similar services. So I'm thinking, okay, no on air, I guess, because I'm using a mic. I'm not really on air, but whatever. I couldn't get a single job throughout the broadcast industry, radio, television, nothing.
Television as well?
They either, because they'll inquire if you have a non-compete. And you have to be honest because their
Yeah.
legal will find out.
They will find out, yeah.
And either my applications were rejected or I was in the middle of an interview process with Beasley years ago, and I was a shoo-in for that job. I could tell you I was going to get that job. Their legal found out, and it wasn't even an on-air job. It was a writing job. I was going to be a blogger for a morning show.
You were writing, and they
They called me the day after my second interview, in which I got to sit in with the morning show I'd be blogging for. And they said, yeah, we got to cut your process right now. Done.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
very strict.
It's, well, in verbatim, the non-compete says, cannot perform the same or similar services. What's similar
What
about
is
blogging?
similar? Yeah, you're not on air.
Right.
You are in print.
And really, as an anchor, you're not really on air either. Here's my gripe with that too. On air personalities. If someone were to come in here from iHeart and be like, traffic anchor is the same thing, here are my 10 questions for you. 1, what day part of what particular station do I cover? What station's website has a whole page dedicated to me, my story, my ambitions, and my hopes? Because that's what they get. Where's my $43K a year income? Where are my sponsorships? What remotes am I being asked to go out and represent the station at? No, none of that. Then maybe I'm not the same thing. So, and I'm only making $14 an hour.
Oh, jeez.
So that's almost $30K a year. So I don't think I'm the same thing.
No.
Because this is not a small market. We're a major market. It's not like it's up in Roanoke Rapids where the population is like 1,200 people. We're in the Queen City, 23rd market, 24th market. It's not the same thing.
Wow.
Ooh, when I could talk about untapped people under a bad boss, I could go all day.
Wow.
Go all day. But I like what you said though, again, about making sure that you understand where your people want to go and getting them there. Like you should never leave anyone untapped. Because here's the thing about, here's even the more like practical business side of it. If you don't tap into all of your people, at what point are you going to be able to confidently say, I know what my team can really do?
Exactly.
If they're untapped and you haven't provided them the chance to push it, You don't know what they can do.
You don't know what they can do, and you don't know where they can expand your business to. So you're stifling their dreams and yours at the same time.
Because if you have a higher up and they're gonna want like a monthly report on your success, or they have questions as to why something isn't being more engaged, and you're like, well, I haven't really tried to get this across my team yet. So it's like, why? How does it help anybody? It serves nobody.
It serves nobody, and most of the time they can't even answer that question because it's going to go back to whomever that manager is. You know, it's their responsibility to not only manage the tasks of the team, but you're there to manage the team.
Right.
And if you tap into a person's ability, like if you don't know, if you're looking for someone who is great at copywriting,
right,
but you never give somebody an opportunity to write copy, you may have Susie Q over here who is absolutely quiet introvert, but she can write people up under the table. She can write a copy that will have people pressing buy buttons and wanting to do all of this stuff. And now you've got your product going off of the shelves and you have no idea why. Well, it's because you tapped into Susie Q's gift. You know, and there are so many people who are sitting on jobs right now who are dying because their gifts are not being tapped into. And you can tell the people in these companies who are actually working in their gift, right? Because they're the ones that show up on their tippy toes, floating in like, yay, I get to work today, because they're doing what they were meant to be here to do. And I was sharing with a friend the other day, actually on a podcast interview that I was doing with a friend of mine, and I said, you know what, when I leave this earth, I don't want to leave this earth and be buried or cremated or whatever I decide to do, and I have one gift left in me. Right. I want every one of these gifts that God has put in me to be put out here on this earth. So my name continues to speak, and people will say, well, I got here because blah, 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 blah. I encountered her. I know when I walk into a room, I'm a light. Yes. I am a thermostat. I am going to change that environment. But it took me being in an environment where I could not grow. Right. And was called the mean girl or the unapproachable one. And when in reality, I was sitting there miserable. Yeah. Because all I was doing was being yelled at because I wouldn't smile. Hell, how am I supposed to smile when I'm managing 800 and something people and doing your job and this person's job? When I left my old job, they split my job up. Yeah. So at the time, I don't know what it is now, but there were 6 people doing my old job compared to me doing the entire thing. Yeah. But you want to call me into the office because I'm not smiling. I don't have time to smile, boo. I'm trying to juggle all of this, and I was doing it well. Yes. So, you know, but now that I'm in an environment, even on my full-time job, I'm in an environment where I can still be creative. Yeah. I can find ways to make this work under the company's policy, but I'm like, okay, let's look at this policy. It can be done differently. Yes. And I'm in an environment where I can take it to my manager and say, hey, I tried this out. What do you think about this? And she's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So they're cultivating a natural gift that I have in me. And I'm able to even do that in this corporate job, but do it in my business as well. So I'm like, yes, honey, we are here. And it just makes your employees feel great when they know that you actually want to see them be greater than where they are now. Yes, yes. You know, stop holding on to people like you own them. You don't. You don't. And it honestly, and when you have them in a position, I describe that position as a tree with no branches, because that tree cannot interact with other trees. That whole department had no day-to-day interaction with any other department. We were never interacting with sales or programming or promotion or traffic continuity. We were just there. I had to be sure, and my friends and I had to be sure to, in our free time, go out and talk to people in the building. Otherwise, they wouldn't have known who the hell we are. And I know this because there were times where the salespeople would have like a big food thing, and like eventually we could like go in and see what was left and have some food. And I like would come in with coworkers from my department, and they would be like, "Oh God, traffic people are here." Are we another species? Like we're the plague.
Like, yes.
Trolls.
Back away, you prim, prissy asshole. It's just, I was just like, that's so not good. It's not good. Like they should, especially the salespeople are the ones who are setting these scripts that are written horribly. And I wish I could be like, hey, I know you're trying, but having these like multi-syllabic words together is not going to have this promo happen in 20 seconds. I'm going to need you to bring it down to like 3rd grade, please.
Yeah.
Because I love to show off my vocab sometimes, but other times it's radio.
And you have to think about who's listening.
Right. Oh my God. And I'll move us on with one more comment saying that the girl who got in trouble for asking for compensation, she went on to create her own PR business, which was thriving here in the Queen City. And she recently just relocated to the West Coast, Sacramento? No, somewhere in California, because she was brought into a huge agency.
Awesome.
So she's doing good. She just moved like a couple weeks ago, and I miss her so much. But yeah.
I hope she kills it.
She was untapped there.
Love it.
When it made her business.
Love it.
Working with so many up and starts here in Charlotte, getting their PR and their social media going. Now she's over in Cali.
That is a great way to show people, sometimes when people try to hold you down, or these companies try to hold you down, like, don't think of it as a slight against you. It has nothing to do with you. It's all about what's going on inside of them. So if you can use that to catapult you to whatever you're supposed to be doing, like in her situation, she just got catapulted into what she's supposed to be doing.
Right.
So just, honey, let them eat cake.
Oh, and if you're a company that puts someone in a position where they're not going to learn anything,
you're in
don't
trouble.
put a non-compete on it.
You're in trouble.
Like, you taught me what? Like, and here's the other thing about it. I don't want to drag this part out too long, but it's like, if I were Rozak, or if I was Ace and TJ, or if I was Woody and Wilcox from one of these morning shows, yeah, a non-compete makes sense because I have popularity.
Right.
I'm being shown off by the company.
Right.
So I have X amount of people that I could take to whatever station I go to next. But in that position, you could have been in that position for half a decade, and I was still a nameless nobody. And also, I wasn't even serving Charlotte. I was serving Raleigh, and then Richmond and Norfolk.
Not even in the area.
Not even in the area. And they were the only ones who heard my voice, only during morning and afternoon drive time, rush hour, so they were really barely paying attention to me, only to what I was talking about in the roadways.
Oh, that's horrible.
And so I have no popularity. I've learned nothing. The only reason I still had any skills was because after hours, I would stay there and get into podcast work. And my friends and I who were untapped would stay after, and we were trying to do like fun video projects and whatnot. So we had to keep our own skills alive. And it was like, why do I have to like forsake my dream industry for half a year when you taught me nothing in 3 years? What am I taking that I got from you?
Oh, absolutely nothing.
Like, and I'll say this with every ounce of my throat. Anyone who is on a radio station like 90.5 WASU at App State, that kind of power station for one school year, you're overqualified for that department. You're not going to get anything new out of it. You are too qualified. Because you do on that station and others like on that par with it, you have to put in work. You do too much work to go into this department and barely work. Goodness. But I want to jump on to what a day-to-day for Miss Massey looks like. Because your podcast right now, it's growing, it's getting bigger, but it's essentially still your hobby, your beloved hobby, but side project. But you're on your work hours. You are a grief counselor.
I'm a grief coach. Yeah.
And I forget the position, but you're with Wells Fargo right now.
Yeah.
Talk about your day-to-day, Monday through Friday. What does that look like?
Oh, Monday through Friday can get a little crazy. Of course, we're back in the office now. So getting used to getting back into the groove of the commute and the space. But honestly, the team that I'm with, oh my gosh.
Now, y'all going through a bit of a bump because you are transitioning workspaces.
Yeah.
You're going back into what's known as the Duke Tower, but Wells Fargo owns it.
Wells Fargo owns it.
And so actually, I don't even know the distance between your previous building and the Duke Tower. How far of a change is that?
Maybe 2 blocks.
Okay.
Yeah, It's not far at all. And I didn't realize we were that close, but it's literally, if you take the light rail, it's the next stop.
Okay, cool.
So it's not far, but it was it was interesting going back into a brand new space. was joking with my manager. I said, you know what? It feels like the first day of high school and none of us know where our lockers are. And
that's a fair assessment.
It really did feel that way. And everybody was kind of walking around like, what do we do? Where do we go? But it was an easy transition, which I was very pleasantly surprised by.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had a couple little bumps, tech issues and things like that. But it's expected.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
It's expected. But being in the office, it was totally different. You know, because working from home, you know, you get into a routine of working at home and just having my entire routine uprooted. So I'm still kind of adjusting to that and tweaking a couple of things. But usually I get into the office and just greet everyone and have my breakfast because, you know, I like to eat.
Yeah.
So I have to have my breakfast.
That's fair.
And a cup of coffee. But then it's just getting online and checking emails and following up on tasks, couple of meetings here and there, gallivanting with my coworkers because we have a good time on my team.
Good.
I'm really in a good space.
Good.
With this employer. I'm actually just so blessed to be there. But typical office things, you know, I love being uptown because lunchtime is entertaining.
Yes.
Like you can go outside and you don't know what you're going to run into.
Right.
And it's just, I love people watching. So prime time for me. I get a lot of content just sitting there, people watching, you know, creatives, we do that. Everything is content. But then when the day ends, hop on the train, which is good content as well. And it depends on the day, like what I do when I come home. So transitioning from corporate work brain to entrepreneur brain is a little different. So it depends on the day. Like Mondays, I'm doing Mondays are usually admin days for me. Tuesdays and Thursdays are recording days. It's either I'm either recording or I am creating like the script or doing pre or post production. One of those days. Wednesdays is usually clients, following up with clients, doing things like that. Fridays, following up with clients. Saturdays is work, or I get to come out and do fun things like sit and chat with you or go to brunch. Sundays, I try to rest. Yeah. Because being an introvert, a lot of people don't believe that I'm an introvert. I am very much an introvert and I'm very shy. A lot of people don't believe that.
Not with that outfit you are.
No.
She walked into Not Just Coffee over here today. And I was watching you walk around because there's the whole wall is a window. I'm just like, what? No, that's not. We're not that kind of show. Like, why'd you put? And I was like, but you came in. I was like, that's a great outfit. But I am so underdressed. Like she thought it was something else.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I am going to brunch after this, so that's why.
What you told me afterward. After I was like, why are you upstaging me on the show?
That's why. But the face is going to be done now.
Yes.
You know, the face is going to be done. I have no gray. I'm either going to be extra on this side of the extra, or I'm going to be like, you're going to catch me with a scarf and a bonnet or something and no makeup.
Well, by the sounds of your ideal like new podcast form, that'll likely be a look you're going for.
Yeah. Like you just don't know. You don't know what you're going to catch. And I tell people, even if you follow me on social media, you'll see me. I'm exfoliating my face. So if an idea pops up, I'm on live. I'm like, look, pay no attention to my face. I'm taking care of the skin. But then I give the idea or whatever, and people are drawn to that. It tickles me so much. I've been on a live and I've taken my lashes off. You know, and just people just draw to that. I'm like, look, y'all, it's not like this all the time. I am not Beyonce. I don't wake up like this. I got to work for this. You know?
Does she work for it? Though I don't think she does.
I do. It takes a lot. It takes me a long time to do my eyebrows. I don't even want to talk about it. And sometimes they still look like cousins instead of twinsies or sisters, like they're distant relatives. That's why, you know what? Before I cut my hair, I would tell anybody, if you see me with a bang, my eyebrows are jacked up.
Okay.
But now I use these big frames. So if one doesn't come out right.
But okay, so I thought the frames were just like style though.
They are style.
I didn't realize they were practical too.
They are practical as well. And they're prescription. So I can see, but I can cover up these eyebrows if they do not do me well.
We love the combination of style and functionality up in here. I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Multifaceted. You have to be.
Now, I'm a firm believer that we cannot talk about the office and how one can be prepared for the office without talking about what can happen in the office.
Oh my God.
So
God.
I can let you, like, do you have any stories
Do I? Listen.
that you've been willing to get you off your chest? I got a couple on my side.
I have a few. Oh my gosh. So this is not pertaining to my current level of employment, my current employer, because they are amazing. I'm so glad I found them. Thank you, Lord. But in my old job, so I was actually labeled as the unapproachable one, the unfriendly one, the angry one, because I really don't take bullshit, honestly. I can see people, I can read people pretty well, and I can see when you're coming at me with some fakeness, and I can see when you genuinely care.
Yeah.
And so we would have situations that will be happening, and a lot of times I wouldn't speak up, but I'd be like, nah, that's messed up. Or sometimes I'll say, no, that's not. Even in meetings, I'm like, no, that's not right. And there was a moment in time where I was really, really, really sick.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone out there listening has ever worked in a situation where you're dealing with a chronic illness or you're dealing with an illness at all, and it's kind of debilitating. So I was having these like mini strokes and didn't even know it. So I would have these migraine headaches and these little TIAs, mini strokes, and I would lose the function of the left side of my body.
Oh my gosh.
And so I couldn't even see out of my left eye. I was partially blind of my left eye. And so I wasn't sharing that because honestly it was nobody's business at work.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But still trying to show up, and I would tell my boss, you know, hey, I'm having a rough day today, and I would let them know what was going on. But it was people in the office who were like, oh, she's so mean. She's unapproachable. I walked past her in the hallway. She didn't speak. If you were on my left side, I didn't even see you, heifer. Like I didn't even see you. Like if you were on my left side, I didn't even see you. But there were people who were going and reporting and saying I was being mean and unapproachable and things like that, and which was totally not true. But I was being pulled into the office and being written up for that. So again, it goes back to you like saying Black women can't have. We can't be sick. We can't have emotions. We can't have any of that.
I'm still listening.
And those situations were so draining. But here I would have people who would actually curse people out or throw things or, you know, just yell and just, you know, talk to patients any kind of way. And as soon as I would say no, it was a problem. And I'm going to tell you the greatest feeling.
One of those workspaces.
Oh my gosh. And it did not start out that way. Like it used to be a great space to work. But when it started to get toxic, I knew it was time to go. I knew it was time to go 4 years before I actually left. So I sat in that space when I should not have.
I hate
out
that.
of fear.
Yeah.
You know, fear of the unknown, fear if I'm going to be able to survive, things like that. But
which is legitimate.
Yeah, it's a legitimate fear, but at the same time, we can't allow fear to keep us stuck in places where we're dying.
Right.
And I was literally dying. But the best thing that happened was the day. Let me back up. I actually wrote my resignation letter. In March of 2016.
Okay.
And I kept it. But I got to slide that bad boy across the table in March of 2018.
Talk about the feeling.
Oh, it felt good. It felt like I had what do you play chess? I've never played
Not in
chess.
a long time, but like strategy leading up to prosperity, I get you.
Yeah, it felt like that. It felt like I had just been crowned the queen and won. It felt like if you play spades, it felt like I had the big joker and just slapped it on the table and set somebody. And I went in and I sat down with my manager, and it was actually, I'll never forget it. It was the Friday before I had gotten called into the office again. Because with my team at the time, I was the only one that had I had like three full-time nurses. I had an entire patient caseload, like over 1,000 patients.
Oh gosh.
I had surgeons that I would like 5 surgeons, like 4 nephrologists. So I'm running all at 2 separate departments.
Right.
I'm running all of this by myself. And so that particular day, it was super busy. I had just had one of the nurses say, I need this right now, blah, blah, blah. So one of my teammates was like, hey, I can help you out. And I said, hey, do you mind putting these labs in for me? And so I can finish working on this. Well, the nurse that asked me to put the labs in, she got pissed and said, this person doesn't need to be doing it. Now, we're all trained to do the same thing.
Oh,
the
gosh.
person that I asked to put the labs in actually trained me. So she knew how to do it.
Right.
And I'm trying not to spread myself thin. But apparently the nurse didn't like that. So I get called into the office that Friday afternoon with my manager and the department head. And they're like giving me this bull about you're not a team player and blah, blah, blah. So I'm sitting there and thinking, oh, this is it. This is it. I'm not doing this anymore.
No.
I'm not doing this anymore. And I literally cried all the way home because I knew that was it. And I said, you know what? This is the last time I'm going to cry on my drive home.
Yeah.
This is the last day that I'm going to sit in the parking garage staring at my building and crying because I didn't want to go in there.
Right.
Because of the crap that was being dealt.
Uh-huh.
I printed that letter as soon as I got home. And I put it on my mirror.
Yes.
And I looked at it all weekend. And I knew come Monday morning, that was it. I got in. I felt so relieved. I came in. I was bouncing. I was happy. And because nobody knew what I was about to do. Nobody
didn't
knew.
realize.
Nobody knew what I was about to do.
That letter been whispering to you all weekend.
All weekends. Like, you can do
it.
this. It was
Do
like,
it.
you can do this, girl. You got this. Go ahead, T. You got this. You can do this. You're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. And I printed that letter. Walked into the office. I greeted everybody. I sat down and I IM'd my manager. And I said, hey, I'd like to chat with you about something, about what happened on Friday. Do you have a moment?
Yeah.
Please let me know when you're available today.
Now, did you think going into that you might provide her one tiny little chance, or you were like just done?
No, I was done.
Like maybe she'll redeem herself this time, but nope, you were done. You were totally done.
I was done.
So yes, like walk us through that moment.
And what was crazy is the manager at the time, she was new to the team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we had gone through a bunch of managers and everything, and she was great.
Okay,
Like,
cool.
I would have stayed if the environment was different because
Right.
she was amazing. But we went in and we sat in, and I gave her, sat down with her, and I said, I've been thinking since this weekend about what you guys said.
Right.
And I feel like, if you guys feel that I am not an asset to this team, then I'd rather not be a liability. And
Sure,
I
yeah.
slid the letter across the table. I said, I am submitting my letter of resignation effective January the 1st.
Ooh.
And, then keep in mind, I wrote that thing in March
Right.
of the year before,
Uh-huh.
like 2016. And I just kept it.
Yes.
And so I stayed way longer than I should have.
Yeah.
But this was right at Christmas time. And I was like, yeah, I'm out. And the look on her face.
That. Talk about it.
The look on her face was like sheer. It looked. She tried to keep a poker face, but I could tell it was like
Ooh.
sheer panic.
It hurt.
It was sheer panic because keep in mind, I was the only one that was keeping this space afloat.
Yes.
And at the time, the physician that had been there for years had just retired. The main nurse that was there she was out on medical leave. And here I am, the last one that knows the ins and outs of this whole department. I helped build what was there.
Yeah.
So I know the ins and outs. I'm like, I'm out.
That's
And
like a
it felt
good luck without me. Oh.
It felt so good. Felt so good.
A little catharsis never hurts
Oh,
nobody.
gosh.
Ooh.
And you know what felt even better? When patients found out that I was gone,
When they left.
they were hitting me up on social media, trying to find me on social media. When are you coming back? Why aren't you there? And of course I still had, friends and coworkers in the office like, girl, they are panicking. Can you help me do this? I'm like, I don't remember how to do. It was certain people that would call.
Right.
I'm like, I don't have access to that anymore. I don't know. I remember I saved it on the drive, but
You got to find it.
You got to find it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I mean, that was for my mental health.
Yes. Yes.
And even my physical health. That was the best thing ever.
I can only
and
imagine.
I even got a call from a HR person asking me what would it take for me to come back.
Really?
And I said, it's not enough money in the world for you to get me to come back. Well, what if we doubled your salary? Nope, not enough.
Nope.
Not enough.
I'm going to be honest, that would have given me pause for a second, but...
It gave me pause for a second. It really did. But I thought about it, like, no, not enough.
Yeah.
And granted, the things that happened after that was a little stressful.
Really?
But I knew that I was not going back.
Yeah.
I was not going back. I knew that season of my life was over and done, and it was time for me to grow.
Yeah. Oh, you're making me rethink so many recent decisions I made. So many. So I mean, I just talked about how I left that one company, and I saw yesterday, which makes no sense because I just made a very mature decision about another company also in this past week. But I saw they were opening for like a producer, and part of me is like, all of my close-knit radio buddies out of college got something. I have never gotten anything. And now they're all out of radio for the most part, and they've done the radio thing. Part of me is like, I never really got to do the radio thing, so I don't know if I should still like hold on to it or not. And I applied to something yesterday, but I don't know why I applied to it, because the other day I've been balancing my part-time and full-time job with my communications job and the promotions job. And I just realized that last weekend, or I thought I had understood this with me, was that, you know, if the whole point of me realizing and trying to emit this feeling of I need to make my own way, then it makes no sense for me to hold on to this part-time job when the company has shown no interest.
But you know what? That goes back to what we were talking about before we started recording, that being comfortable.
Yes.
You know, because like what we were sharing, when I was sharing with you was, I know full-time entrepreneurship is coming. I'm just afraid to take the leap because I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable in this job. I'm comfortable with having this paycheck pop up every 2 weeks and these benefits that show up. You know, I like getting that little insurance card every year. But on the flip side, entrepreneurship brings a different level of freedom. Yeah. And a different level of creativity and things like that. So a lot of times we hold on to the things that we're used to and we're comfortable because we are so afraid of the unknown. Right. But we'll never know what's out there until we take the we don't have to, I'll tell people, we don't have to take the leap. Take the baby step.
Yes. And that's why, and so that's why I reached out to my boss, who is awesome, Leslie. I'm hoping to have you on the show soon. And I was like, Leslie, I thank you so much for bringing me back into Beasley. I missed the crew. I missed the team. And I wish I could grow more with you guys, but I need to move on. And I couldn't be there for them a lot, so I was like, you need someone more dedicated. So I turned in my notice. And I was like, if it makes no sense if I'm trying to trailblaze, if I'm holding on to something like that. I got to I'm hoping that by letting it go, things will start to find momentum. That's my hope. But then I went and applied to that producer job for the company that really screwed me over in the past, and I don't know what I'm thinking. I mean, here's the thing. I don't have the job. They may not even call me. But it's like, why would I do that?
Because it's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
It's what you're used to. It's a safety net. It's a safety net.
But I'm going to let it go. I'm going to forget that I even applied to it.
And even if they do call you back, like, you don't have to take it.
I don't have to take it. You're right.
But if it's something that can be used as a springboard. Yeah.
I don't know, though. Morning producers don't get paid a lot.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So if you know that it's not really something that's conducive to where you're trying to go. If it's not, use my spiritual math. Yes. If it's not adding and multiplying, but it's causing division and it's subtracting from what you're trying to do, it's got to go.
It's got to go. Man, I could have you in here for like another day, but I know based on your outfit, you got brunch.
Wait, what time is it?
It's almost 11:30.
You know, we're fine.
Are you sure you gotta be a Valentine?
Fine.
Okay, cool.
I drive pretty good.
She gave me. Tracy said.
I got time.
She got time.
I got time today.
If you're driving 77 southbound between 12 and 12:30 this morning, move.
Please.
What's the making?
I'm not saying because you're not getting people to look out for me.
Look out for you.
No.
Oh.
No. They're already going to see me by the outfit.
I was gonna say they're gonna see your outfit through your windshield.
Yeah. I mean,
That'll be enough notice.
they're going to be like, who is that beauty going by? It is I.
It's like, Tracey Massey.
Hello, she's here.
She's here. Charging station host and producer.
Extraordinary.
Charged up her car a little too much.
gas.
Blowing that battery out on 77 southbound.
Listen, I drive good.
And that's if you take 77 southbound. There are plenty of ways to get to Valentine. Okay, so one crazy thing. Oh, which one do I share though? I'll do the juicy one.
Do the juicy one.
So this is before college was over. I was in college still, and I was working in food services, and that will humble the fuck out of you.
Lord.
Working food services on a college campus.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine. I did food service as an adult, and I would never do it again. I had one person get upset at me about their soup, and I was like, "Can't you read the menu?" I'm out. I make way too much money on my real job for this. I'm out.
Unfortunately, that was my V job, and and we were the biggest chain restaurant on campus. There are plenty of places to eat, but we're the McAllister's Deli. We're the biggest one thing there. So I'm working there, and I worked there for like 4.5 years of my 5 years of college. And there was a particular point where none of us really liked the manager there. We just didn't. This is how it was. And it was sometime after we had gotten on our new second supervisor. And I was good friends with really the team. It was one of those job areas where the team's great, the job itself sucks. So love my team people. But the lady I was also pretty stronger friends with, one girl, who was a student like me. I hate that. And another full-time who was like the salad lady. She was a salad girl, like salads and spuds. That's what she did. And at some point, and I forget exactly when, she and the first supervisor, who was a guy, both of them in long-term relationships, began to do the nasty on the manager's desk after hours.
Oh my God.
And as a friend to said salad lady, I became quite privy to this information right at the get-go. And there was, it gets juicier. It gets juicier, literally. Because and I was just like, that's crazy. I mean, I'm your friend, so I'm not gonna throw you under the bus. But you know what could happen here. And so this went on, I think, for a couple months. They've been like edging toward it, and then it just started happening because they would, after cleanup and everything, they would just stay there after hours. And I'm not sure how they got caught. I think they just I think the other supervisor may have like seen them leaving at the same time at a weird time. So the juicier part of the information is that again, they were both in long-term relationships. He was married with kids, and she was in a long-term she had like a long-term boyfriend. And one thing she told me, because I and our other girlfriend went out like on a weekend, like driving trip anyway in the mountains, and she said, "Supervisor's the only one who got me off." I was like, damn, that goes against your boyfriend pretty hard if he's never getting you off.
Oh, that's sad.
It's sad. It really is. And then they got found out. Well, and again, they were doing it on the manager's desk.
On the manager's desk. Oh, come on.
And she was getting off on the desk too.
Ew.
So I don't know how much more cleanup time that meant they had to put into it. But they did, because it took, again, a little while for anyone to like notice, because apparently there was like no mess in there when they would go in the next morning. So yeah, that would happen. And then, yeah, again, they got found out. I'm not sure who. I think it was maybe the other supervisor who happened to, again, catch them at a weird time. Because we close at 7:30. And it takes like maybe an hour for like full clean and breakdown. So if they were leaving at like 9:30 or something like that, it's kind of weird because we're all definitely gone by then. So yeah, so that they eventually got found out. Girl's boyfriend broke up with him, but like, well, you're not getting her off, so I'm not sure why you're so upset. It kind of makes sense.
Oh my God.
And then I'm not sure what happened to supervisor and his family situation. I think he was without question in the doghouse for a while. But I don't know if they're still together or not. But yeah. So my suggestion for that is, if you're gonna do it, you're an adult, but don't pretend like you don't know what can come as a result.
Right.
Because she was upset that like everything kind of fell apart for her. It's like,
hello,
I'm your friend, but you know what that was going to potentially cause.
Did you think that the boyfriend was going to be okay with you getting bust down by your manager?
Right.
No. And then you have this whole HR thing.
But and of course and he found out because of course she got fired, so she had to like tell him why she got fired.
You got fired? Yeah.
But yeah, that was.
I'd be so mad if that was my desk. I was like, look.
Again,
I need a new desk. I need new pencils. I need new paper. I need new paper clips. Everything brand new, please. Thank you.
I need you to take the bricks down to this office and put brand new bricks in it.
I want everything wiped down and Lysol. Just get the hazmat team.
What landed where?
This
was just like, oh man. And before that happened, I mean, the only like nothing else crazy really ever happened before or after that. But I mean, God, I was just like, that was crazy time.
Oh my God.
And I will say though, I was a sandwich boy for the most part, and I'm not gonna lie, every single time somebody came in there with an attitude, I definitely used the honey mustard to draw a dick on their bun. So y'all were eating my mustard dick because I was a petty asshole. I'm still a petty asshole like that.
Why if I can tell, honey mustard, like honey mustard is my favorite. So now I'm never gonna be able to eat honey mustard and not burst out laughing.
Well, I thought if I said horseradish sauce, it would have been grosser.
Oh, that would have been. That's so petty.
If I can tell you clearly never put an honest day's work in your life and you still come in with an attitude like that, you're going to get a dick with some kind of condiment on your bun.
Gosh.
I would do a salad, but that doesn't really stay together quite as well.
No. It doesn't have the same effect.
It doesn't. But like with the bun, it kind of soaks into the frame of the bun. So like you can wipe it off. Exactly. So you can like wipe it off if there's still going to be a honey mustard dick on your bun.
Residue. Oh my gosh, that's so petty.
Exactly. I'm so petty. But you know what? Again, like here's the thing, and I'll say this too, especially if you work to honest like one of those jobs, work one of those jobs in your life. It makes like my patience is so much greater, and I know I was kind of a jerk before I got that job, but my patience is so much higher now.
Oh gosh,
4.5 years.
It will definitely enhance your customer service. My very first job was at Blockbuster Video.
Ooh.
And people would get upset about those dang videos. Like we had to charge people if you didn't rewind. And people would get upset when we didn't have the new release. I hated new release day. I hated it because people wanted their movie and we don't have it.
Yeah.
And they would get upset. I'm like, you're getting upset with me. I can't fix it right now. But I'd have to sit there. I'm so sorry that I understand your frustration. However, if you'll wait a few minutes, we'll go out here and check the box in just a little bit and then we'll see if it's there. I'm pretty sure it'll be there because we have someone that's coming in today.
Right. My goodness. Were you still there when they started doing like the whole mail movie thing?
No, by that time I was gone.
Good. Because it didn't last long after that.
I was at Block. I'm showing my age, which I don't care. I'm blessed to be here. I was like 19, 20 years old working at Blockbuster.
Okay.
So it was in its real heyday. You know, I remember setting up new stores, like the new stores at the Blockbuster that used to be on Independence Boulevard, right in Matthews. We opened that store.
Oh, wow.
So it was just, those were some times. That was where I got my my customer service voice and the customer service smile. You know that thing you have to put on, like, welcome to Blockbuster. How may I help you?
Welcome to Blockbuster. What would you like today?
Well, how can I help you? And, you know, and people think that my customer service is so great. It's like because in my head I'm thinking I can't punch people.
Like,
you know,
like listening there, it's like sitting. If I was on the cash register, listening to somebody like take off every single topping, like no lettuce, no tomato, no this, that, and whatnot. So undressed. Okay.
Okay.
Undressed. One word. That's all you needed to do was just say the one word.
Yeah.
And I would have taken it all
and
off.
we don't know. You know, and then like I said, I did. For some reason during the pandemic and I was working from home, I don't know why I did this, but I decided to go get a part-time job at a local restaurant, right? That lasted maybe 3 months. Because it took that one time for that person to come in, and the whole menu was behind my head.
Yes.
With descriptions and pictures.
Exactly.
They ordered the wrong thing, and I confirmed. So I have this blah, 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 blah.
You got to read it back.
Would you like anything else? Are you sure this is what you want? Okay, hit the thing. It comes out there, man. You got my order wrong, blah, blah, blah. I'm standing there, and I'm really thinking I could walk off right now.
After I smack you in the face.
Because all of my bills are paid.
Right.
This is part-time. This is shoe money. Like, I don't have.
This is funsies income.
Yeah, I don't have to do this.
Right.
And I'm the oldest person here working on the team. I'm even older than the manager. I don't have to do this.
Yeah. Man.
So please,
Customers.
people, treat people in retail and food service well.
Yes.
Because for the one person that's coming in being nice, there's probably about 20 people that are not.
Acting complete fools. People, the customer is not always right.
At all.
I don't know who made up that line.
They need to be slapped. If they're dead, dig them up and slap them.
Yes, by like,
Because the customer is not always right.
no.
And being mean, it costs nothing to be kind.
It doesn't.
You get, what's that old saying? You get more bees with honey.
Yes.
Treat people kindly.
I was going to say bang with your bug, but yeah.
Yeah, treat people kindly. It's not hard at all.
Speaking of that, so another story I got. So we had a newer guy come in, radio job, and I don't know, he wasn't there very long until my boss, who at the time did not know how to handle the stress of their job. Bad mix in the get-go. So I guess this kid, who again was brand new and already being asked to cover a full-time person, so he's, instead of being there for just a couple hours, he's there for a whole drive time. And I guess he just didn't get it quite right off the bat. Again, expected, brand new.
Yeah.
And my boss came in there, and she, in the middle of the entire newsroom, started calling into question like his experience, his entire degree, like questioning like the legitimacy of like what he had learned in school. Like,
my gosh.
she was like, "Didn't you get a degree in some?" And I'm like, "You're yelling that in the middle of the entire room." And granted, I would have suggested, like, can you take this into your office?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Her office, the bad part about where we were located was right next to the sales pit. And them bitches are already chatty as fuck. And her door, despite being seemingly thick and made of wood, does not contain sound at all. So, in other times where she had taken someone, including me, to ream me, dropping the F-bomb at me, because I messed up because I too at one point was not properly trained. The entire sales pit heard it. Because one time I was in the sales pit with a friend of mine who happened to work in that space, and she had a shebang with somebody, and I did not miss a word from the other side of the space.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Just like, and again, calling into question everything that, like, his whole existence, she's calling into question his experience, his degree, his education, his skills in front of everybody. You can't have a private moment with somebody
Yes.
to discuss your concerns about their performance.
And does it have to go there?
Right.
Like that could have been handled totally different.
Exactly. And here's the thing. She wasn't really training anybody. I was, and other full-time people were at the time. She really wasn't. And I don't know how many times I can tell you, I walked into her office to tell her something, and I caught her on Candy Crush. When I tell you she hit all tabs so quickly to jump back and forth between.
Come on, sis.
Like, I saw that. You know I saw that.
Don't do that.
You have the reflexes of a dead cat. It took you a second and a half to switch it up when I got in the office. I saw it.
Oh, how awful. Oh, you just reminded me of another situation.
Oh, goodness.
So on my old job, do you remember back a few years ago where that everybody was on the giraffe, watching that giraffe give birth?
Yes.
Or
yes.
what was the thing's name? April or something?
I forgot. Yeah, but yeah, I gotcha.
So I had a coworker who literally would set up her iPad and watch this giraffe all day long. Patients weren't being seen. She was watching this giraffe and giving people updates. Like she was going around the office giving people updates about this damn giraffe.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, she grabs her purse, right? And she walks out. Don't think anything of it, right?
Right.
A few minutes later, we hear her beeper going off. So she's on call.
Uh-huh.
Her beeper's going off, and we're like, well, where is so-and-so? Where is so-and-so? I'm like, I don't know. My manager at the time comes to ask me. I said, well, yeah, I saw her walk out with her purse on her shoulder. Maybe she had an appointment or something. She wasn't supposed to leave.
Mm-hmm.
She was on call.
Yeah.
Her beeper's going off. She left her beeper and her work cell phone on her desk. She walks out. They try to get in touch with her. Don't hear anything from her for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2. She had walked off of the job.
Just walked off.
Just walked off. And she said that the reason was because she was having an issue. But they allowed her to come back to work, right?
Right.
But while she was out,
Uh-huh.
they opened up her desk and they found all of these things that were supposed to be completed that were not, prescriptions that were supposed to be filled that were not. So basically we had to clean up her shit.
Oh my God.
And we had people so pissed, which they should have been.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. They allowed her to come back to work because she said she had an issue.
And that's the part I'm still stuck on. But yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
Go on.
But she had to come back in a different capacity. So she wasn't in the same capacity as she was.
Uh-huh.
And she felt like she was undeserving of the demotion. And I was like, you're still getting paid
Yeah.
what you were getting paid at this capacity.
Uh-huh.
You did not get fired.
Which you should have.
Which you should have, because anytime you walk off of a job, I don't know about you, but
That tells me.
that's like immediate termination.
Yeah.
And so she was allowed to come back, and she was a real bitch about it. But the thing that tickled me was we were in a meeting one day. So when all of this stuff happened, it just dropped the morale even more.
Uh-huh.
And when you have people who really don't say anything start saying stuff. So we were in a meeting, and we had this survey that we had to do right at the time with this happened.
Okay, yeah.
One of the questions on the survey was, do you trust your management? Do you trust the communication style? Like all this. So all of those numbers tanked. So when you do a survey, it looks at the leadership. It doesn't look at the employees.
Right.
So we were sitting in a meeting, and the manager at the time asked, well, I don't understand why these numbers are this way, blah, blah, blah. So everybody's sitting there looking at each other. And I said, I'm just going to say this. Let's, it all boils down to this whole situation.
Yeah.
Everyone is upset about it. Nobody's in here saying anything. I'm just going to be the one to say it.
Yeah.
We know good and well, if it had been one of us that did that, we would not have been allowed to come back up here.
Same pay, different capacity. Would not have been an option. Wow.
Needless to say, and then this chick, now you would think if somebody gives you that big of a chance,
Yeah.
you're still getting paid what you were making, but you're in a different area. You would think you would keep your nose clean this entire time.
Right. Take the opportunity to shape up just a bit. Just a bit. Oh my God.
No, she did not. She came in one day, was late. She came in at like 11, 12 o'clock. Was late. My boss at the time had been looking for her. And so my boss would do this thing where she would call everybody's desk phone.
Yeah.
To see if they've heard anything. And so when I saw her doing that, I was like, oh boy, here you go.
Oh no.
She came through looking for her and everything. And I was just sitting back watching. I'm like, okay, it's about to happen. It's about to go down. When she gets there, my boss calls me, because at the time I was the only one in the cubicle. I don't know how that happened.
Right.
But she calls me. She said, have you seen so-and-so? I was like, yeah, she just got here. She didn't even say anything. She just hung up the phone on me. And I'm like, oh, man.
Did you have your popcorn?
I had some tea. The phone in the back rings. And so she answers the phone. And then I see her get up and go. Next thing I know, I don't see her anymore. I see security. I see my manager with a box.
Not the box. Like a cardboard box?
Yeah. Yeah. They had packed up her stuff.
Oh,
And then
no.
we-
Yeah. Well, yes.
Then that afternoon, right about when the last patient was gone, we get called into a quick 5-minute meeting. We all knew what the 5-minute meeting was.
Sure.
But the narrative was she decided to no longer be with us. And I was in my head, I was thinking, no, y'all finally fired her.
Well, yeah.
You finally
Why
fired
would they
her.
not want to say that?
HR. But no, I honestly don't even think HR was called in when she walked off.
Yeah.
The first time. And then we
Probably not.
we didn't even hear from her for a whole week and a half.
Yeah.
So like there's no way HR was called into
There's
that.
no way. That's crap. That is crap.
It's just crazy how some things just are allowed.
Mm-hmm.
But yet you're telling me that I'm not approachable and I'm not smiling. And I even told my manager at the time when they called me in with that crap, I said, it's mighty funny that I'm unapproachable, but everybody comes to my desk
Right.
wanting to talk.
Right.
Or wanting me to pray for them.
Right.
Or wanting a sage word of advice. Like, I don't know when I became the wise one of the team.
Yeah.
But they're always over here. But I'm unapproachable. Okay, then.
Workspace drama only here on Casual Babble. I unfortunately have to cut us off here.
Yeah,
We are approaching another podcast going to be coming in here soon. Thank you so much for joining me
Thank you for
today, Miss
having
Tracey.
me.
I've been meaning to get you in here so much sooner, but I'm happy that you're in here today. Please enjoy your brunch. Do not kill nobody on the way down
I
to
will
Valentine.
not. I drive good.
I better not catch like a sneak peek of your car on your way out because I will alert everybody.
No, I really do. I have a clean driving record, and we're going to keep it that way.
That means she's never been caught.
technicality.
Technicality. And we'll get you off. All right. Thank you so much again. I'll be sure to include everyone so everyone can see your contact info, your socials in the descriptions for the platforms. Thank you again. Thank you so much again for the Morning Brew for providing us our business news. Not sponsored, but hey, Morning Brew, talk to me about it, please. All right. I hope to have you in here again
Absolutely.
because you are amazing.
Thank you.
And we will see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.